Oh, I should have put my glasses on so I can actually see the fucking camera. Well, welcome back to Monday's edition of 42nd Street Pete's Grindhouse. A little warm today. I'm shooting this on Sunday, so, gotta load these things up when you can. A lot of shit's going on here. And again, Blanca's still on the mend. Fur's growing in. Again, I really want to thank everybody who, helped me out with the vet bills. It is much appreciated because this thing took a wallop out of my stash, for lack of better words. But matter of fact, here she is now, coming in to bug me. But anyway, Trapped Them and Killed Them, aka Emmanuel and the Last Cannibals. I guess it was out in, released in '77, but it didn't get here until, I think, '86. And again, it wound up at the Liberty as Trapped Them and Killed Them. It ran, it ran over a month. It's funny, all the cannibal films that have that they slap the really fucked up names on, like Make Them Die Slowly, Doomed to Die, and Trapped Them and Killed Them, had a real good run there. But anyway, this was the one that was directed by Joe D'Amato. And instead of having the requisite animal cruelty, which seems to be a staple of all the other films, we get almost some semi-hardcore sex scenes. I mean, it starts off with, Emmanuel, played by Laura Gemser, is checking out this thing about this cannibal girl that was captured by some river and is in this hospital, and she bites a nurse's boob off. That's how it opens up. A nurse running down the hall with a bloody boob. So Emmanuel comes to this professor's place, played by her husband, Gabriel Tinte, and they watch a cannibal film, 8mm one of, footage smuggled back in where basically somebody's dick got cut off and eaten. And I guess that's another thing that is in Cannibal Films 101, that you gotta have a dick eating scene in it. So they decide to go on this expedition to see where this thing came from, because there's this symbol on the the cannibal chick's belly, this triangular thing or whatever. So they're going to go down to the Amazon or wherever and check this out. And of course, they're bringing a young nun. And I don't know what the hell else was going on, but they're going down there. Then all of a sudden, they are attacked by something, and it gets a little murky here. They run into a safarian couple, the Mackenzies. One Mackenzie played by Donald O'Brien, the other one played by some Italian actress whose name I forget. But anyway, they're telling them there's great danger, these cannibals, and the cannibals had attacked the mission and eaten everybody there. So the nun has nowhere to go. So, and they also have this big black dude, he's a gun bearer or something. What the fuck was his name? Bobo or Bono or Bono? Whatever the fuck his name was. But anyway, they set up camp, and of course the young nun has to go out to answer the call of nature and is grabbed by the cannibals and is stripped and whatever and eaten, and they find her head on a spike the next day. Seems the Mackenzies aren't what they say they are. They're looking for this plane that crashed with a stash of diamonds in it that was stolen. So of course they find the diamonds, but the cannibals attack again, and they grab the young girl that's been with, the professor and Emmanuel, and they grab the Mackenzies, and then they basically tie a rope around Mr. Mackenzie's waist and have like 8 cannibals at each end, pulling and pulling and pulling. Then they stick a mirror in front of it for the cheap optical effect that basically that's him hanging there. Weirdly, in the Sleazoid Express, they said that scene was in Make Them Die Slowly, and that just shows how, I guess he doesn't watch anything like cannibal films, whatever the fuck. But anyway, they have to rescue this young woman. So Emmanuel decides to paint the tattoo on herself and get naked and go into the water while the professor sets up a fireworks display that distracts the natives and they make their escape. I know I didn't make it sound all that exciting, and to be honest with you, compared to the other real sleaze fests, it isn't. I mean, there's basically the one, Mrs. Mackenzie gets gutted from crotch to throat, and guts fall out and stuff like that. The nun gets, like I said, the head on the thing. But all in all, it's just, the title kept bringing them in. And we tracked down the distributor because I thought it might have been, one of these guys that I was familiar with. And it seems it was out of Queens, New York, Megastar Distribution or something like that, and that was the only thing they distributed. So that was around 86, I think. And then someone was asking me when I decided to actually bail out of the whole thing, and it probably was around that time because I started, with wheeling and dealing with videotape. And to be honest with you, there wasn't much going on there that I couldn't find over in Jersey anyway, as far as movies going, because there really wasn't any cool exploitation shit anymore. It was all studio produced stuff. I think the last film I saw over there might have been Jungle Warriors. But, it was like, I'm over there like 2 days a week because of the videotape thing, picking up stuff. And this is before I knew Liquidators. And, my whole thing was I had the flea market and I was wheeling and dealing. So, I was spending a lot of time driving, over there with my truck. And, of course, I wasn't a commercial vehicle, so I didn't have commercial plates. So I was limited to the time I could spend in certain places. I remember one time I don't know if anybody remembers this gimmick that was walking around. It was a black box and you pushed the button and it said fuck you, and then it said eat shit, and then it said you're an asshole, and something else. But that was a real hot item, and everybody was paying up to $20, $25 for these things. If you could grab them for 10, you made a killing. So I was looking for that, and they were doing some construction, and I basically backed my truck, near a mound of dirt, so I didn't think no one would see the license plate. And as I come around the corner with my stash, there's a cop writing me out a ticket. I'm like, shit. But then I'm thinking, all right, he got me. So I waited till he left. I went through the stuff in the truck and then spent the rest of the day shopping because they weren't going to tell me. They already got me with the ticket. Yeah, there was a lot of, wheeling and dealing's a lot of different stories and stuff. And like I said, I'd be over there now and then. But you know what it was? There wasn't really any fucking draw anymore. And most of the people that I have been hanging out with in that area weren't around anymore. They either moved on, got married, died, whatever, or became actual criminals like Big Al. So there wasn't much of an attraction. And like I said, being in there 2 days a week wasn't. And I would drive up. I would whiz up the block on the way to wherever I was going just to check it out. And like I said, all you just saw was the whole deterioration. There was it was all mainstream shit paired with some other stuff, and basically all the cool shit at that point you could probably get on VHS. So that was that. But yeah, it's sort of, it was fun while it lasted, like everything else. And speaking of that, the long awaited, and I know I've been trying to promise in this fucking thing, but we ran into the same shit we ran into with the first one, where basically we couldn't get anybody to publish it. And the whole debacle with other shit going on. So pretty much the editing phase is done. And me and Lorena were talking over the weekend, and I said, you know something? I want to do something to make this one a little bit more special than the last one. So I have a lot of ads from those theaters. I have a lot of pictures from the conventions with me and people that, were cool, but unfortunately aren't around anymore. And I just found a handful of pictures I took at Liquidators, a handful of pictures out of my old video store. So add on to some, like I said, the original ads that ran in Screw for some of these things. I just did a whole potpourri of stuff, which we're going to incorporate into the whole thing. So it might, be another month, but honestly, I think it'll be well worth waiting for, because like I said, there's stuff in there you're not going to see photo-wise, and it's just like a little trip down memory lane for a lot of people that, remember 42nd Street and remember some of the shit that I did back in the day. So it's all cool. She's been breaking her ass on it. She deserves a lot of credit for keeping with it, because I really appreciate what she's doing, because I couldn't get this thing together myself. And then, like I said, I kept running into roadblocks, and we're being real careful, because what I wanted to do with the cover I can't do, because they'll bounce it back and that'll be the end of it. And it's like, I just want to get this done, get it out to the people, hope they like it, and, go on from there. So that's our show for today. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in. Above all, stay safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Oh, P.S. I'm going to be taping a show for the Fusebox show tomorrow. I don't know when they're going to air it, but we're going to be talking about the life and times of Roger Corman. So I'll let you know when that airs. So until then, stay safe.